Hey, family, welcome back to Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you're new here, I am your manifesting mentor, Brittany. Hey, I'm not a coach, not a guru, but a woman who walks the walk and shares what works. Today, we're continuing chapter 11, part 2, which is all about space time and time space. And in this section, Dr. Joe takes us deeper into the Newtonian model of reality. This is a model that most of us were raised with. We believe we exist as somebody with something in some place happening at some time. And that's the 3D world or space time. But here's where it gets powerful. In order to truly access the quantum field and to make contact with new possibilities, we must temporarily let go of that limited identity. In the next section titled From Somebody to Nobody, From Someone to No One, From Something to No Thing, and From Somewhere to Nowhere, and from some time to no time, Dr. Joe explains how stepping out of the known self is how we step into the unknown. And that's where real creation begins. So in today's reading, we're going to explore how we've been conditioned to locate ourselves in the material world, why that identity keeps us tethered to our past, and how entering the realm of no one, nowhere, and no time isn't about disappearing or not being who you came here to be, but it's about becoming infinite. Let's begin. If feelings and emotions are a record of the past and those feelings are driving your hardwired thoughts and behaviors, you'll keep repeating your past and therefore become predictable. Now you're firmly ensconced in the Newtonian world because Newtonian physics is based on predictable outcomes. The more you live in stress, the more you are simply matter trying to affect matter, matter trying to fight, force, manipulate, predict, control, and compete for outcomes. As a result, everything you want to change, manifest, or influence is going to take a lot of time because in this space time reality, you have to move your physical body through space to create the outcomes you want. The more you're living in survival and using your senses to define reality, the more you experience separation from a new future. Between where you are presently as one point of consciousness and where you want to be as another point of consciousness lies a very long distance, not to mention that your constant obsession on how things are going to happen is based on how you think and predict it should happen. But if you're predicting, your thinking is based on the knowns. So there's no room for an unknown or new possibility in your life. If you're trying to buy a house, for example, you need to save for a down payment, look for a house, get a loan, go through the application process, beat out the other guys, and then spend 30 years dragging your body back and forth to work through space, trying to pay it off. These points in consciousness, having the idea to buy the house and having the house with the mortgage paid off, are going to take time to intersect. In a similar way, if you want a new relationship, you might go online, set up a profile, scroll through countless other profiles, make a list of people to reach out to, contact each one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Did I say that? Yep. Contact each one and eventually go on many dates in hopes of finding someone intriguing. If you want a new job, you might take the time to create a resume, search for open positions, and go on interviews. What these processes have in common is they require time, which you experience as linear. You may get what you want, but the more you live in survival, the more time is going to take because your matter trying to influence matter. And there is a distinct separation in space and time between where you are and where you want to be. We can agree then that in this three-dimensional reality, within your experience of time, there's a definite past, present, and future. Since you live in linear time, you also experience separation from time because the past, present, and future appear as separate moments in time. You are here and your future is there. Figure 11.2 graphically represents how the past, present, and future all exist as distinct Discontinuous moments. As I said earlier, thanks to Newtonian physics, we unraveled the natural laws of force, acceleration, and matter, allowing us to predict outcomes. If we know the general direction, velocity, and rotation of an object traveling through space, for the most part, we can predict where it's going to end up and how long it will take. This is why we can travel from New York to Los Angeles by plane, predict how long it's going to take to get there, and know where the plane will land. Within the understanding of Newtonian physics and this three-dimensional world we live in, many of us spend most of our lives focusing our attention outward on trying to become someone, have somebody, own some things, go somewhere, and experience something in some time. When we don't have the things we want, we experience lack. And lack and separation cause us to live in a state of duality and polarity. It's natural for us to want what we don't have. In fact, this is how we create things. So that's very normal. When we experience separation from our future desires, we think and dream of what we want, and then we set about performing a series of actions in linear time to get them. If we're always under financial stress, for example, we want money. If we have a disease, we want health. If we feel lonely, we want a relationship or companionship. Because of this experience of duality and separation, we are driven to create. And this is how we naturally evolve and grow towards our dreams. But if we are matter focused on matter, trying to influence matter to get money, health, love, and so on, we've established it's going to take quite a bit of time and energy. When we finally attain what we're seeking, the emotion we feel from the fruition of our creation or the meeting of those 2 points of consciousness satiates the sense of lack we formerly experienced. When the new job comes, we feel secure. When the new relationship manifests, we feel love and joy. As we heal, we feel more whole. If we are living in this state, we are waiting for something or someone outside of us to change how we feel internally. Once we feel relief from the experience of lack, because we are embracing the emotion correlated with the manifestation of the external event, we pay close attention to whomever and whatever caused the relief. This cause and effect forms a new memory, and to some degree, we evolve. When something in our world doesn't happen or seems to be taking a long time to happen, we experience more lack because we feel even more separate from what we're trying to create. Now, our own emotional state of lack, frustration, impatience, and separation is keeping our dreams at a distance, further increasing the time it will take for our desired outcome to occur. And now we're going to go into the section titled From Somebody to Nobody, from someone to no one, from something to no thing, from somewhere to nowhere, and from some time to no time. If Newtonian laws are outlawed, I'm sorry, if Newtonian laws are outward expressions of the physical material laws of space time, a dimension where there's more space than time, we could say, in a sense, that quantum laws are the inverse. The quantum is an inward expression of the laws of nature, an invisible field of information and energy that unifies everything material. The immaterial field organizes, connects, and governs all the laws of nature. It is a dimension where there's more time and space. In other words, it's a dimension where time is eternal. As you learned in chapters 2 and 3, when we take our attention off people and things at certain places in our external world, no longer placing our attention on our body and ceasing to think about time and schedules, we become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and in no time. We do this through a process of disconnecting from our body, our identity, our gender, our disease, our name, our problems, our personal relationships, our pain, our past, and so on. This is what it means to get beyond the self, to go from the consciousness of somebody to nobody, from the consciousness of someone to no one, from the consciousness of something to no thing, from the consciousness of somewhere to nowhere, and from the consciousness of being in some time to being in no time. As we move from a narrow focus to an open focus and begin to surrender all aspects of self, we move away from the external world of people, things, places, schedules, to do lists, and so on, and turn our attention to the inner world of energy, vibration, frequency, and consciousness. Our research shows that when we take our attention off of objects and matter and instead open our focus to energy and information, different parts of the brain work together in harmony. The result of this unification of the brain is that we feel more whole. When we do this properly, our heart begins to open, beat more rhythmically, and thus become more coherent. As the heart moves into coherence, so does our brain. And because our identity is out of the way, meaning we've gotten beyond our body, a particular place in our known environment and time, the act of eliminating those things causes us to move to alpha and theta brainwave patterns, and we connect with the autonomic nervous system. As the ANS becomes activated, its job is to restore order, balance, causing coherence and wholeness in our heart, brain, body, and energy field. This coherence is then reflected in all aspects of our biology. It is in this state where we begin to connect to the quantum or the unified field. Uh, So I think we're going to wrap up this part here. So this chapter is one of the most powerful when it comes to understanding who we really are beyond the body, the personality, and all of those stories that we cling to so dearly. If you want to keep exploring with me, I'm reading Becoming Supernatural chapter by chapter, as you know by now, and the full playlist is linked in my bio, also on TikTok and here on YouTube. You can catch up at any time and feel free to share with someone who needs to hear this. I'll see you in the next video, part 3.